A new migrant caravan headed to the U.S. border has been effectively stopped as the liberal media admit the undeniable success of President Trump's border wall. In this video, we're going to take a look at the latest migrant caravan that attempted to make its way to the U.S. southern border, how the nationalist-populist immigration policies of President Trump have effectively thwarted any and all such attempts, and how even the left-wing activists disguised as journalists are indeed admitting defeat when it comes to their globalist open border policies. You are not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone, patrons all across the globe. Dr. Steve here with you. Great to be with you. As always, I hope you're having a wonderful beginning to your week. If this is your first time here at this channel, a warm welcome to you. We post 2 videos a day analyzing current events, allow some super awesome conservative trends so we can all live in the present in light of even better things to come. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Come on now, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. We'd love to have you as a regular part of our channel where each and every day we together celebrate, yes, the inevitable collapse of left-wing globalism and the unstoppable rise of a new conservative age. Before we dive into here, have you seen gold and silver lately? Gold recently made history. It hit a record high of around $2,000 an ounce. And the billionaire Thomas Kaplan predicts that we're not far from gold getting to $5,000 an ounce. Now, if you're sick of low returns and volatility from the market, then it's time to look at gold and silver. And that's where our good friends over at Noble Gold come in. Gang, frankly, there's just never been a better time to start a gold or silver IRA in your portfolio, and the amazing staff over at Noble Gold are ready to help you in any way that they can. And if that's not incentive enough, Noble Gold is gifting a 1/10 ounce solid gold American Eagle proof coin like this one with every qualifying IRA or 401k rollover going through in October. So don't wait. Click on that link below or visit their website at noblegoldinvestments.com or give them a call at 877-646-5347. Make sure to mention my name, Dr. Steve Turley, and let's ride that gold wave together. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. Now, it was widely reported that a new migrant caravan of approximately 2,000 Hondurans had been heading to the United States southern border. The group was constituted primarily of young men. There were some children reported to have been spotted being pushed by strollers, this according to the AP. However, because of the rather impenetrable wall that President Trump has set up, not just at the southern border of the states, but through alliances with Mexico and Guatemala, the chances of this caravan ever coming anywhere near the southern border of the United States were absolutely nil. And this is because both Guatemala and Mexico have instituted a number of measures to prevent migrant caravans passing through their respective nations. In Guatemala, their president, Alejandro Giammattei, who, by the way, is a right-winger. I don't know if you know that. He's a conservative. He won their election last year in a blowout against his left-wing challenger. We covered it here on the channel. He ran on a thoroughly conservative law and order platform. He promised to get tough on, rampant gang violence, drug cartels. He's very, very socially conservative, very pro-life. He's a defender of traditional marriage, is over and against the progressive lifestyle values of his opponent, left-wing opponent. He absolutely won the election in a blowout, got nearly 60% of the vote to his opponent's 40%, just to give you a sense of who this fellow is. But he announced that he was suspending constitutional protections in some regions of Guatemala to make sure that this caravan was decisively stopped. It did enter Guatemala from the south a few days ago, but there's little political will to allow a massive caravan of migrants to parade through your nation in the midst of COVID risks. And so he cracked down on them. And Mexico, too, also pledged to crack down on any remaining migrants who would make it successfully through Guatemala. But there was no such need. It is now being reported that most of the caravan is currently being bussed back to Honduras from Guatemala. It does appear that this situation is completely fizzled out, which further underscores the massive success that President Trump has had with all but eradicating illegal immigration from our southern border. These actions that we're seeing from both Guatemala and Mexico are part of President Trump's, we might call it part of his extended wall, his administrative wall, So the wall's both physical, which of course is being built with billions of dollars in national emergency funds that the Supreme Court cleared several months back. So the wall is physical, but it's also a political wall. It's an administrative wall. The Trump administration has been working closely with Mexico and Guatemala to create administrative walls, buffer zones, as it were, that would prevent migrants from flooding into the United States. So it's a very holistic policy. But speaking of the physical wall, while all of this was going on, the mainstream Marxist media is suddenly realizing that after 3 years of mocking Trump on his supposed failure to build a wall on the southern border, they're actually suddenly realizing that Trump has indeed been successfully building well over 300 miles of border wall. MSNBC's Katie Tur and Jacob Soboroff have admitted this of late. And instead, they're beginning to fret over what they consider to be the horrific consequences of this massive border wall that's been erected along our southern border. Check it out.
When we hear people talking about that President Trump is only really building a handful of miles of new wall, and the rest of it is replacement almost in a dismissive way, it's just hundreds of miles of replacement. There was already something there. That something is this. And they're replacing it
with this.
With this.
Yeah, this idea that it's just a replacement, at best it's misguided, at worst it's a complete flat-out lie. I think people don't want to give the administration a win on that, but the reality is the wall's going up, and this notion that it's not new really takes away from the fact that this is ripping Arizona and the rest of the borderlands in two.
We drove on to Quito Baquito Springs, which has long been considered a sacred site to Native people here. B, one of the activists we drove in with, led us to the water source.
I can just see, actually, the water level drop into the grass there.
Correct. It has dropped about 6 inches.
What's it like for you to see this?
There's no words to give you as far as how my heart aches and breaks. I'm disappointed in the actions that failed to protect something the earth has given us as a free gift.
In a statement, CBP acknowledged the water level changes and said it's monitoring the situation, but that government contractors are not using groundwater from within a 5-mile radius of the spring.
I think there's a tendency for people who are anti the president to say he's failed in his building of the wall.
As far as him failing, no, he didn't fail. He's building the wall. Like, he's doing exactly what he said he would do.
Katie, I really appreciate you guys airing this whole report. It was really revelatory, frankly, for me to be there and to see this. Whether it is new wall or replacement wall, dismissing any of it is a mistake. When you talk to people on the ground, they say that whether it's the environment, whether it's migration, whether it's wildlife, the impacts of this are going to be extremely significant. And the president, as you heard there, is doing exactly what he promised he was going to do.
Elections have consequences. Jacob Soboroff, happy to air a piece like that.
Now, of course, they had to spin this with a left wing, in this case, anti-environmental, anti-indigenous American slant. It is MSNBC. They're going to have to fulfill their left-wing job description. But there's no question here. They're realizing that President Trump has indeed kept his word. He's building a massive barrier wall along the southern border. And when he wins his second term, he is going to finish the project once and for all. And our national security will be all the more bolstered for it, most likely for generations to come. And this is all because of a massive political paradigm shift that's been happening over the last several years, and which we on this channel regularly analyze. But first, we're so excited to announce the beginning of Turley Talks TV. Now, I know a lot of you get tired of hearing ads before getting to our videos, right? Like this one. I know a lot of you are frustrated with the interruptions by Google Ads while watching our videos. And I know a lot of you have expressed some real deep concern about cancel culture on YouTube and the risk that culture poses to this channel. Well, friends, that's why we are introducing Turley Talks TV. By clicking on the link below today, you can get sponsor-free videos each and every day that are completely immune from left-wing cancel culture. You can watch our videos from any platform on any device and stay updated on a rising conservative age. So sign up today at turleytalks.tv and watch from anywhere for just $4.99 a month. So what are you waiting for? Click on that link below to sign up, and let's enjoy the rise of this new conservative age together on Turley Talks TV. All right, so when all's said and done, the reason why we're not hearing so much as a whimper of protest against the busing back of this migrant caravan to Honduras or the building of the wall that MSNBC is lamenting over is because we've seen nothing short of a massive political paradigm shift over the last decade. There's a reason why 2016 was called the Year of the Wall. It's been called the Year of the Wall because everywhere you look, nations are tightening their borders. You can look at France, Hungary, India, Austria, Italy, Greece, Israel. We can go on and on. Everywhere we look, border walls are going up. They're not coming down. And these are thoroughly nationalist-populist walls that seek to protect culture and tradition and religion and language and land and custom from the anti-cultural dynamics of globalization. And so the political language and policies that explicitly seek to protect national interests and identities are now becoming the new norm. So this is why the vast majority of Americans supported President Trump's travel ban back in 2017. Remember that? When he enforced bans against travelers from Chad and Iran and Libya and Somalia and Syria, Yemen. And do you remember how the mainstream Marxist media went crazy over that ban? If you do a Google search on that travel ban, it's absolutely hilarious. So we're talking back in 2017 here. But you'll see that the top results back then were all complaining how this was nothing less than white supremacism dictating foreign policy. And what we have to recognize here, besides the absurd cultural Marxist rhetoric of the corporatist globalist media, they're just shills for all things leftists. Besides that, these reactions clearly recognize that travel bans are expressions of the kinds of border security inherent in nationalist sentiments, which left-wing liberals caricature as racist and bigoted and xenophobic. But now, with COVID, now with even Trudeau's Canada closing their borders, with virtually every nation on the planet following suit, we're all xenophobes now, aren't we? I mean, there's just no way around it. And if we're all xenophobes, then nobody's a xenophobe. Coronavirus exposed the radical fault inherent in globalization. Globalization, by its nature, requires open borders that radically compromise our national security, and those days are over. The very fact that there's not so much as a whimper of protest over these migrants being turned back or the border wall being built shows definitively that our war against left-wing globalism is effectively over. We've won. We've won in ways that we couldn't even have imagined 4 years ago. A new conservative age is indeed rising as secure borders have become the normal, the new normal, as far as the eye can see. Now, before you go, make sure to like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. And you will definitely want to check out my latest video. I just uploaded it with just 4 weeks to go before the November 3rd election, President Trump is indeed beating Sleepy Joe Biden, and we cover precisely why that is. You're not going to want to miss it. So make sure to click on the link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.